Hello everyone, welcome to the Scumdogs Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams, and in today's episode, folks, we're going to be looking at a video of Loch Ness Monster and hear a story of alien abduction. Just your classic high strangeness in this video today, folks. We'll start off with this first article, Juvenile Loch Ness Monster Recorded. Of course, we're going to read the article first before we actually look at the video. But I will tell you, folks, the video is short, and so I'm going to loop it several times so you'll have ample time to look at it. So, let's get into this article and then take a look at this video, folks, and then we'll determine if this is actually a juvenile Loch Ness Monster or not. So, let's get into this article now, folks, and hear the full account. It is a juvenile Nessie playing with its prey, the fish, before it devours it. If what I noted is correct, then it is the first time on live camera that we see Nessie hunting its fish prey. Iano Fodhagen said he was stunned to see the distinct shape surfacing just yards from a Loch Ness hotel while watching the water via webcam. He said, "As I was watching, I noticed a large disturbance in the tranquil waters of Loch Ness, less than 100 feet from the Clansman Hotel pier. A creature broke the surface and rose up a few feet out of the water, then quickly submerged into the dark depths of Loch Ness. Luckily, I was already recording. It all happened so fast, but I got it recorded." In Eon's footage, the creature briefly surfaces and for a moment resembles the Nessie of popular imagination, with a long neck and a hump behind. Mr. O'Fudhagen has no doubt that that's exactly what it was. I immediately thought it was Nessie because it was too large to be anything else. Certainly it has no resemblance to an otter or a seal, and I never saw a fish with a neck and a bumpy back. I was stunned, overjoyed that at last I might have a clear image of the Loch Ness Monster. Looking at the screenshot afterward, it fits the uncanny classic description of Nessie, given by many eyewitnesses over the years. So indeed, folks, it sounds like this guy finally caught the Nessie on camera. So, this is incredible, folks. Do you think that the, Loch Ness Monster is real? Maybe this footage finally proves it. Either way, we'll have to take a look at the footage for ourselves, folks. And as I said, it's going to loop several times, so you'll have ample time to look at the monster as it surfaces and goes back into the water. Here we go. Now, the monster is basically in the, middle of the screen there, folks. And as you can see, it's rising out of the water and then it sinks back down. It does look like the classic description of the Nessie, doesn't it, folks? It looks basically very, dinosaur-like. Now, as you can see, the video is looping again. It comes up, it goes down, and whatever it was, it's, rather fast, don't you think, folks? It just went up and down. Now, do you think that this Nessie really was, eating a fish and grabbing it? All I can say, folks, is it does look exactly like O'Fudhagen described it, like it was just doing that. Now, could it have been coming up for air, perhaps? I mean, if you think about it, folks, has anyone confirmed that Nessie is a water-breathing animal or an air-breathing animal, like, say, a whale? I mean, if it was coming up for air, then people would basically see it occasionally, wouldn't they? Maybe that explains the sightings. But if it's actually some sort of water-breathing reptile, then why have there always been so many signs of the Loch Ness Monster? I mean, it kind of makes sense that this creature is an air-breathing animal, like, say, a whale, and comes up for air. This would explain why it is seen. But if it's indeed some sort of water-breathing, reptile, folks, then why has it been seen at all? This would basically make it one of the more elusive creatures out there. I mean, I think crocodiles come up to basically sun themselves, so I guess that makes sense. But if this is some sort of water-breathing reptile, then why does it come to the surface? If it's coming up to basically sun itself basically on the surface of the water, then I guess that does make sense, folks, because reptiles are cold-blooded. But I just don't see how this creature could actually basically be a water-breathing reptile, folks, because I think it would function much better if it breathed air. But either way, maybe this creature is truly alien to what we know about, dinosaurs and maybe even living creatures today, folks, and maybe it's completely different. But then again, why does it exist like this? We don't know until someone can actually prove this creature, and while this is good evidence, folks, there's a chance that it's still fake. It is still some of the best evidence for a cryptid I have ever seen in my life. Very, very well done. But do you think it's real, folks? I'll leave that all up to you for you all to decide, folks. But me, I think there's a good chance, but I'm not quite sure I believe it. Either way, let's read the next article. Alien abduction. Idaho experiencer claims body-length surgical scar and video recording. Now, there's no actual video that goes with this particular article, folks, but maybe in the future we'll have a look at it. But as far as I know, the video actually disappeared, like so many others. But still, the story itself is well worth looking at. So let's read the witness's story and hear his terrifying account now, folks. When I was checking myself, I found this very long scar going down my entire right side from just below my armpit all the way to my ankle. I am now genuinely afraid for my life. And as you can see from that terrifying excerpt from the actual story, folks, this incident left this man with mental scars and a big physical scar that he can see every day. So let's hear the full account and hear exactly what happened to this man. Hi, I was inside my house, which was just outside of Boise, Idaho, reading a book when I heard a roaring sound overhead. The date was October 1st, 2016 at about 9 p.m. I went outside to check and saw this bright white ship that was about 120 feet wide with reddish-orange lights, all of which were extremely bright and flashed in a sequence. It was just floating there. I thought the sound was a thunderclap, but I guess I was wrong. It landed about 80 feet away from me, and I saw a door open, and humanoid aliens stepped out of the ship. Sounds like a classic encounter with alien beings, doesn't it, folks? In the ship itself, it sounds like something you'd see from, well, classic sci-fi movies like The Day the Earth Stood Still or Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Either way, let's hear the rest of the story now. When the aliens saw me, they came towards me. I tried to escape, but they ended up being too fast for me to outrun them. They must have knocked me out because I woke up naked, strapped to some sort of examination table, which had a lot of sharp devices around it. One of the aliens came up to the table and picked up what looked like a syringe with a very large needle. The alien stuck the needle in my right thigh, and that was when everything became a blur. The alien was doing some sort of full-body examination, but when he was done, he knocked me out again. I woke up back on my lawn, clothed and clean, and with a device in my hand. The device contained a clip of one of the aliens speaking. I went inside to make sure they did not do anything more than an examination. When I was checking myself, I found this very long scar going down my entire right side from just below my armpit all the way to my ankle. I am now genuinely afraid for my life, and every time I go somewhere, I have to look to the skies to make sure the aliens are not stalking me. So indeed, folks, a truly terrifying account. Can you imagine it, folks? Just basically encountering these aliens. They knock you unconscious, they examine you, and when you actually come out of it and find yourself with an incredibly long, horrible scar on the side of your body. Can you imagine that, folks? The nightmares this must cause this man. And lastly, how did he get this device for this film of this alien speaking? I mean, did he do it himself? Did he have the film with him? How did he get it, and why was it there? There's a bit of a note at the end of the article, folks, with a little more information. Let's read that first, and then we can talk more about this story, as well as the one with the Loch Ness Monster. The experiencer states that the clip was submitted to a UFO reporting agency. It was never returned or acknowledged. According to their statement, to me, I'm reporting this incident as received. I have no way of validating this incident. Sadly, folks, that seems to basically be the way with a lot of these stories. You can't validate if it's true or not, but usually you can basically say that, well, sometimes there's a little photo evidence or maybe a film. In this case, there was, folks. Sadly, it's been taken away. Do you think that maybe the government now has its hands on this, well, footage? And how, as I said earlier, did he get it to begin with? He didn't basically have anything, well, the film with when he was abducted by these aliens. It just seems like that way to me, folks. And if these aliens, well, did take him, I think they'd been smart enough to basically realize that this guy was filming them. So they probably wouldn't have left him with that film to begin with. So how did that happen? And what about the Loch Ness Monster, folks? Do you think that was real footage? I will say it's very good footage of the Loch Ness Monster. It could very well be real, and maybe one day it will validate the existence of this particular cryptid. But like with so many stories with this alien account as well, folks, we just don't know or have the physical evidence to prove anything of this for real, sadly. But what about all of you, folks? Do you think it was real? It does look real with the Loch Ness Monster, at least. But this story with the aliens, if anything, folks, this truly gives you an idea of what it would be like to be kidnapped by aliens. And it sounds like it would basically be truly terrifying. I feel nothing but sorrow for this man if indeed his account is true. But, folks, we're at the end, so please go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Read comics, they're bad for you. You can use the YouTube link down below in the descriptions or the chat to go subscribe to me. I am Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with another great video, so be sure to come back again then. Till next time, folks, I'll see you all again soon.